Phil, we're about to, James and I, as we do every year, we're about to film the Christmas market, but things have changed in 2016. Business is not so brilliant everywhere. Why would you say that?
There's a few aspects of the dynamics of the city have changed. The pedestrianisation does change the flow of people. I think there's less tourism, but I think there's less people coming into the centre of town because of the poor mobility, be it from the tunnels to the poor access around town. It's a very confusing place to drive. And I feel that there's not much of an invitation to bring people in when it's very easy to access Ghent, Bruges, Antwerp and other places to shop. Why would you?
So what could Brussels do to make this better?
I think there's a problem with the long-term vision on mobility in general. There seems to be too many schemes which are in place or just not working as they should be, or too much trying to change it once, and there's a lot of things that probably need to be corrected, and they don't seem to be addressed. They just seem to be just ambling forward in an uncontrolled manner.
And you said something to me earlier before the interview that you read something that parking is down 30%.
Yeah, there's a few benchmarks you can use to see how many people are in town. If hotels are down, then you're going to be down on tourism, but I've read recently that the parking in Brussels is down from into parking down up to 30%, which obviously shows that it's not just the tourism which is down, it's the locals with their cars just choosing not to come into town because of the poor traffic and poor mobility and just poor circulation.
I'm thinking it's not because Brussels has got any worse as a tourist destination, but it's something's clearly going badly wrong here. And the removal, of course, of your right as a bar to put out
I hear what you're
tables.
saying. With the this year for 5 months we've been told we must bring in all of our terraces, which is a new move, but it only seems to apply to 2 streets, so I'm not quite sure what the real logic is behind it, if any, because half of the street still does have terraces if you go down Rue Rectory, but it's just a very bizarre, visionless episode that we're in at the moment, and it just needs to be reined in and tidied up.
So who do we need? Where do we go?
I think some things might have to go backwards before they go forward. So I think sometimes if something's not working, it needs to be admitted that it's not working, or it just needs to be. You can't just keep running head on to something if it's just not the right plan, just until you think it's going to come right. Because sometimes it's just not going to come right.
So we're going to go film the Christmas market now, and a rough guess, here we are in your bar having a good time, but we're going to go and do that. Do you think that is going to have a knock-on effect to, for example, the Christmas market?
Well, the Christmas market always brings people into town. It's what they decide to do when they're there is always a different matter. There's a lot of food and drink options on the Christmas market, so the restaurants don't do as well as they used to out of it, but you do have an overspill, and I think you have people in that probably wouldn't have come in if it wasn't on, so it's very hard to measure in that sense. You can only work with the facts and figures you have, and if that's parking and hotels, then these are concrete things which are showing who's in and who's not in, but you can only have a feel of what town's like, and some of the streets around the Christmas market are quieter, but the Christmas market's busy, but it's it's not a bad thing for the city. But it does seem to be a little more sparse than it has been in previous years.
Do you know, I think that's really cool in a roundabout way. And of course, and we wait to see this, what an amazing roundabout we've got here. And the little boy's going to come round on the back of a seahorse. And it's like mermaids. You either see horses or you don't. Kids is probably not a good idea. Go. We've got this amazing combination here, James, haven't we? We've got this bar à champagne. In front of that, we've got 2 guys on the seesaw, which is really quite amusing, and a very old statue in front of a quite modern big wheel.
And here is every traveller's boon. Hard day round the Christmas market. It's time for a van show.
So James and
Or
I
two.
are about to share 2 vouchers, so we're not sharing at all actually.
Indeed.
And I'm having a sly cigarette, as you do occasionally. And it's great to be at the Christmas